Hello everyone, it's me Jenny and it's time for another movie review. And I was going to review a different film which I watched on Saturday, and I will probably film that and upload it at some point. It might be next week's video, it might be a video for another week, but last night I ran out of time because I basically had a quick nap and then stayed up till 6 o'clock in the morning hanging out with the Project Chronicles because it was my cheat day, during which time I also drank a couple of glasses of wine. So this morning, getting up for a matinee showing of DeadPool, I didn't have a hangover per se, but it was rather difficult to stay focused until I got into the cinema, and then suddenly the hangover just went away because my quick review for this film is it is fabulous. It's one of those films that is just genuinely fun from beginning to end. I think kind of the baseline is if you're kind of like subconsciously giggling by the end of the opening credit scene, which is very witty, it's very well displayed, it's kind of stupid fucking humour, but it's freaking entertaining. And yes, I swear, but it's this sort of film you kind of need to swear when you describe it, because it is. The humour in this is very much, if you enjoy Cards Against Humanity, you will enjoy this film. There is teabagging and butts and innuendo and stupid humour, and it's all so very fast and well spoken and well written. It's very, there's so much dialogue in this film. When me and my friends left the cinema, we couldn't actually talk to each other for the first minute or two because it's so dialogue heavy. There is so much dialogue that comes thick and fast. It's very natural, it's very fast, it's very dirty and inappropriate and hilarious and well written. On top of that, some of the fight sequences are phenomenal. Ryan Reynolds has obviously got the physicality for this role, but the way that DeadPool as a fighter works is brilliantly done. There's humour both in the fighting style and in just the style of the fighting is entertaining regardless of the humour. I like how they did the visual effects. What's interesting about this film is clearly it has a lower budget than most other Marvel films in many different ways, and they reference that. It's a self-referential thing. That is DeadPool's thing. It's breaking the fourth wall, it's telling the story from multiple layers, from an audience-based perspective into a superhero story. So even though there is compelling story, and there is a compelling kind of underlying thing, a lot of it is very self-referential in a great way. Like there's in-jokes, there's self-aware, multiple universe, multiple film references in this. And that both makes it very enjoyable and kind of like a little Easter egg hunt. And it's not distracting, but it adds another depth, another layer. The Stan Lee cameo is probably my favourite Stan Lee cameo ever. It's the only time I've ever laughed for a Stan Lee cameo. I did laugh out loud during this. There was one scene that I was laughing so hard I didn't actually realise what was going on screen. I was just like laughing, and everyone in the cinema was laughing. I've never been to a cinema viewing in England where people have actively laughed out loud quite that much. Like, you know, you'll get those chortles, like when I went to go see the first Avengers film during the Hulk versus Thor punch. Everyone went, ha ha! That was kind of like a little lull in the audience. But I've never actually been to the cinema to watch a comedy and have everyone in the audience actually laughing. And that happened during the scene with DeadPool versus Colossus, I think that's the name of the character, having a complete and utter blank moment on that character. It's, for those of you who have seen the film, it's the one with the reference to dinosaurs. Oh my gosh, I was laughing so hard I kind of lost track of what was going on in that fight sequence, which was a really well directed fight sequences. It's a simple plot. It's a base, compelling origin story, but it's textured with so much, as I said, Cards Against Humanity humour, some phenomenal fight sequences, very well directed, clean cut fight sequences, a good sense of pace. It felt like a very short film in a good way, and it was like, I think it was a longer superhero film than normal. I think it was well over an hour and a half, but it felt like it went very quick. The pacing in this is really well done. There's, you know, constant humour, well fitted throughout. There's constant breaking the fourth wall, well fitted throughout. There's dirty jokes left, right and centre. You don't feel like you're being left too far behind. You can follow in with the plot very well. Everything is very well paced and very well balanced. The music is brilliant. There is kind of a Team America type song halfway through where it's almost directly referencing the visuals going on as a theme, which is very well done. It is a superhero origin which has got all of the violence and gore that you expect from a Deadpool movie. The fun thing as well is it's a 15 rated, at least it is in the UK. I don't know what the official rating is internationally, but in England it is 15 rating, which means that it is not desperately appalling. There is bloody violence, there is sexual innuendo, there is boobs and blood and guts, but it's not so graphic or intimate that it's uncomfortable to watch. There wasn't really a point where I was like, oh god, there was points where I was like, that's weird. But I wasn't ever actually like scared, I was never actually grossed out. The humour is dirty but not vulgar, which is, I suppose it could be counted as vulgar depending on where you're from and what your perspective is, but for me it wasn't overtly vulgar enough to put me off. I really, really enjoyed it. I like that Marvel's really branching out into different types of Marvel films and Marvel mediums. They're not sticking to just one baseline. Obviously this one isn't a Disney-based Marvel film. This is a Marvel film from another mother, as it was. I'm very interested to see how this plays into a sequel. I think this was a really, really brilliant, fun, entertaining film. I would recommend it. If you, as I said, if you're kind of internally giggling by the end of the first credit sequences, I think you'll enjoy this film. If by the end of the credit sequences you weren't like even thinking it was remotely witty and you're thinking that's just stupid, then you probably won't enjoy the film a great deal. I really would recommend watching it with friends. It was a perfect hangover cure. Not that I was particularly hungover, but it was a good way to start my day. And yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed this film, and I would recommend it. For anyone who's a fan of Deadpool, I think it does it justice. For anyone who's new to the Deadpool world, I think go in with an open mind and enjoy the hell out of it. Ryan Reynolds is fantastic. I think all of the cast are just really well done. They don't go into too much detail in backstory, but you can just enjoy the hell out of the over-the-top graphics, violence and dialogue. Thank you for watching. Feel free to comment, and I will see you guys all very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye guys.